Hi everyone, we're back tonight. Hope you can join us, and we're going to just have a candid conversation about relationships. We decided to have this conversation as a result of watching the series on Netflix called Sex Life. It was an amazing series, excellent series. They left us with a cliffhanger, like it's going to be a part two. So since we broke that down episode by episode, we decided to come back tonight because last night we closed out with episode 8. We decided to come back tonight and just have a generic conversation on relationships. And of course, I'm bringing my buddies back in the building. I'm bringing Chef Kev. You know, he messy with the words in the mouth. What's up, Kev?
Whatever. What's going on? What's going on? Mm-mm.
We gotta bring my girl Frances in the building. What's up, girlfriend? So, guys, we're here tonight and we're just going to have just a conversation about relationships in general. Um, you know, give your honest opinion. We're going to break this down. And before we break this down, I did do a little bit of research, okay? It says there's 5 common reasons, they're not in any particular order, of why couples normally break up. Finances is on the list, money, infidelity. They said constant arguing. So we can lump that into communication because if you're arguing, you're not communicating appropriately. Lack of intimacy. And then the last thing they had on that list of the 5 common things was
Mm.
substance abuse. All right. And that can, I guess, fall into any category with the alcohol, the drugs, or whatever. But those are the 5 common reasons as to why couples just can't seem to stay together and make it. We'll start with the big one, and the big one is, money, finances. So I'm gonna throw this out there, and then we'll go around. We'll start with you, Kev, of course. I'm gonna throw this out there about the money situation. So you're in a relationship. Do y'all have a joint account? Or do y'all have separate accounts? Or do you have a mixture of both, a joint account and your separate accounts? Okay. How do y'all pay the bills? Do you split everything 50-50, regardless of who makes what? Or does the one that makes more money pay more? In addition to that, my other question that's going to tag on to that is, when you get a bonus on your job, is that money shared or is that money yours? And we're going to add on to that just one more thing is, someone in the family needs money. Maybe it's her mother, maybe it's your mother. Is that money coming out of the joint account? Where does that money come from? Is it okay if she taps into that joint account to get this money to get to her mother because her mother can't pay it back? So talk to us, Cass. You
Well, it
can
depends
start
on
out with the accounts.
Okay, I'm starting with the count. So to me, it depends on the couple. Talking marriage, I'm assuming. So if you're not married, I think you should have separate accounts. If you're married, another ball game. Uh, I have no problem with joint accounts because I have nothing to hide. Um, I believe because I asked my brothers this when I got married the first time. I said, "Do y'all have separate accounts? Do you hide money?" And they both told me the same thing. If I gotta hide money, why get married? And so I was like, okay. Uh, so to me, if you're all in and I'm all in, then we're doing this together, and that's how I look at it. I don't believe in putting people on allowance. I think the person who is better financially equipped should handle the money.
Hey,
Hey, Sassy.
girlfriend.
I think who's ever financially equipped should handle the money. So uh, if someone feels that, if I feel like my wife is better at saving money than I am, then you handle the money. Uh, if we're going to cut back at something, we discuss it. We're going to cut back or just we need to stop at the credit card. Let's get them paid off. Things like that. Um, so in that aspect of it, as far as what was the other question?
So, how are y'all paying the bills?
Like I said, who's ever financially in charge, who's at like if I'm handling the money, Then I pay all the bills. Bring all the bills, cell phone bills, whatever. I pay the bills. Um, if she's in charge, she pays the bills. But we pay the bills together. Because if it's coming out of the joint account, as long as the bills get paid, I don't think it matters. Um, as far as giving money to family or giving money away, we're married. Your mom is my mom. My mom is your mom. Unless there's a family member who's messy on drugs in that situation, then we have a different situation. Being married, there was a situation where people thought not, on the other side that because she was married, you know, they could tap into the pot. You know what I mean? Oh, well, she married now, and then didn't work that way. So it can be people come to your house, see your house, you got a nice house, nice yard, and people start feeling, oh, I'm gonna come in here, and I had a situation where in-laws was trying to move in and stuff when we bought a house, and you got you got to set a standard like, okay, nah, we're not doing this. If you coming in, how long you staying? You know what I mean? What are you staying for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, whatever the situation is. But it's a discussion that should be had between both parties. I don't care if it's my brother or whatever. I got to have a discussion with my wife. Yeah, at the same time, I'm not gonna leave my brother homeless, just like I would expect my wife to leave her brother homeless. But why is he homeless? Is he homeless because he's in a bad situation, or is he homeless because he's on drugs? We got to, because I always say this: I put my wallet on the table when I come in the house. Anybody you bring in this house, if I gotta hide my wallet, you gotta hide your purse. Don't need to come in this house.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that 100%. So we got kids, whatever, grandkids. We're gonna take care. We're gonna take care of everybody. We're gonna do what we can do, but we're not gonna be taken advantage of. That's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So your bonus, you get a bonus, is being shared.
It's our bonus. I
Okay.
don't. I don't believe. My whole thing is this: once you start, once you start hiding the bread like that, then it becomes a situation because now it's like locking your phone. Your phone wasn't locked before, now it's locked. What are you hiding? Why are you
Mm-hmm.
hiding it? If the bonus is $1,000, put $1,000 in the account. What are we gonna do with this bonus? You know what I mean? What are we gonna do with this bonus? And so I remember a quick story. I was at I worked at a casino, and this lady was having an issue, and she was complaining, but her complaint made no sense. So one of the managers I was with said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" And she was like, "Y'all take from people so much. Y'all take from people so much." And so she was like, "Well, it's a gamble. You come in here, you play. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Unfortunately, you lost." So she whispered to her girlfriend, "I don't know what I'm gonna tell this nigga when I get home." Exactly what she said. Come to find out, and she did this several times. She would get the tax return because they filed joint tax return. She would come play, make some money off it, then put the tax return back. So she would get the check, go play, take maybe a couple of thousand out, play, make some money off it, then put whatever into the account. This time she didn't win. So from what I understand, she played about 5,000 out of $15,000 check she lost. And I said to the girl, I said, I know he's gonna be pissed because I know he had plans for that money. This money's coming in, and the tax return is like a bonus. You got plans for this money. I'm gonna pay this off. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna put this away, maybe a vacation, and you blew it gambling. So that's how I look at it. Um, as a man, I just don't believe in hiding money from your woman like that. If that's the case, just stay single. I don't. There's too much going on for that.
Well, you're not hiding it. What if your maid knows you got a bonus? You're not hiding it.
Well, it's. I mean, like I said, my situation was different, but when I got when she got her bonus, I didn't ask for it. I didn't depend on it. I didn't look for it. But when I got my little extra bread on the side, when I was doing my gigs on the side, she benefited from it. She benefited from it. Oh, I need this. Okay, I got extra money. I know you got some extra money coming in. It's okay if we do this. Here you go. So as a man, I just felt that was my job to share. I never asked for her money, but I did share mine.
Did she share?
She bought some stuff, but I never asked. She did she never shared the actual cash, but she would buy certain things and stuff like that. I could tell, oh, I got my bonus and okay. But I never said, oh, let me get $100 or let me get 20. I never just said no.
Okay. I'm still doing an echo. I don't know what's going on with that. And I tried so many different things. But Francis, you answer the question.
Yeah. Do you have your cell phone open or the YouTube open somewhere? No. Okay. Um, well, I don't believe that, once we get married, everything is joint. So, yes, I believe in a house account. I believe in a separate account because you still need to be able to do what you want with the money that you earn. So, whatever needs to go into the house account goes into the house account. Whatever is left over, if we discuss that there's going to be a savings account for the family, then that's fine. Are we going to tap into investments together? And that account has, its specific name. Absolutely. But I still believe that you need to have some of your own. And I don't, whatever you feel that amount is needs to be discussed with your mate. So if you're saying that out of my check, I'll put everything in but $300, then that $300 is yours to use how you want to use it. But everything else is definitely joint. As far as catering to family, it has to be very specific reasons why we're divulging our money to other people unless they absolutely need it. At my mom's age, at this point in my life, my goal is to be able to pay all of her bills, right? And paying all of her bills, that means that it's going to be discussed at the beginning of the relationship. Look, this is what is going on. These bills will be paid, whether it's coming from me, whether it's coming from us, but that's exactly what has to happen. And if you want to do the same with your living parent, then we can do that as well. But understand that this is going to be discussed at the beginning, and it's non-negotiable as far as I'm concerned. If that has to come out of what's left over after we pay our bills, fine. But when you're taking care of other family members, it can there's a shade of gray that can only be tolerated but so much. Um, and as far as family members that have substance abuse, I'm sorry, you can't come stay with me, period. It is what it is. You cannot come stay with me, period. Because anything that comes up missing, you gonna come up missing. So that's just how I feel about that. As far as bonuses, absolutely. Bonuses gets divided up amongst everyone that lives in the house. See, I don't just work for me, I work for us. And that's just how I'm living. So it gets divided up amongst everybody. So everybody gets a little taste of that. And of course, some will go into savings, some will go into investing. And that um, for whatever it is. Now, when I was married, my husband didn't work. He was the stay-at-home dad. So it was given anyway. So everybody got to touch the bonus. Anyway, however, if he decided that he needed a little more, I was okay with that. You know, no, you're not working. You're putting forth the effort of making sure our daughter has a safe environment. I'm absolutely going to give you a little more if that's what you need. I was okay with that, because when I married you, I didn't marry half of you or part of you. I married all of you. So that's how I always worked it. I enjoyed being married, but it didn't work out so well. So it's okay. It was absolutely okay with that. Yes, and am I missing any other questions?
The bonus. I think you already touched on the bonus, but let me ask you this. So, was he okay with you being the breadwinner?
No, he was not.
A lot of men are not.
No, he was not. Um, he he always alluded to things that were never true. So I said, okay, if that's just how you feel, we can go talk it out in counseling. That was a no go as well. So I told him, I said, if we can't communicate properly, if we can't live cohesively, then I need to step away from this relationship because I'm not going to tolerate but so much,
Hmm.
and I'm not going to have my child living in an environment where there's so much tension in the air. I'm not doing it. So
Right.
I got out of that relationship because I wasn't going to deal with that all of my life. I mean, as much as I care about him, as much as I loved him, I wasn't going to deal with that.
Yeah. I have this conversation with my girlfriends all the time. There's
Hmm.
not too many men that can deal with the woman being the breadwinner. There's not too many men that could deal with a woman that makes more money than them.
Hmm.
Um, and it is not the female's responsibility to make the man comfortable with her status and her salary and, all of the above.
And,
And
oh
go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, I get it. I absolutely get it. And I always told him, I said, what you're doing for us is not what you're doing for me.
Right.
When I come home, I put the entire check in the bank. You have access to the same money because you have access to that debit card. That I leave the debit card at home. All I ask for you is make sure the rent gets paid and make sure our utility bills get paid, and whatever is left. Take what you need out of it. I never limited him from what he needed, and he could not wrap it around his mind that, you know, or get it to a point where he was comfortable with me being the breadwinner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kevin, your thoughts on that before we move to the next topic?
Um, it, it depends on individuals, and I understand men saying that I don't want to be breadwinner. I think it's more about control.
Hmm.
Uh, when people say I pay the cost to be the boss, it's about control. And so, when and this is how I look at it. No one, when you let him know you're the breadwinner, that's when it becomes a problem. That's when I see it. And I always go back to the movie of Soul Food
Hmm.
when they're in the counter. She says only such is yours. And I remember in the movie theater saying that's over. I said it loud as hell. I said, I don't talk in the movie theater. I said that's over because if we got 15,000 in the account and you telling me, well, only 4,800 is yours, and you letting me know that, that's over. Because now
Absolutely.
you're paying. If we got 15,000 in the account, and I put up 10, and you put up 5, we got 15,000. But if we got fifteen
Absolutely.
thousand in the account, and you put up 11, and I put up 4, you gotta let me know that I only put up 4. You can take your 11 and keep it moving.
Hmm.
I always told you about my brother, God rest his soul, when he was sick. I didn't know his girl was financially looking after him. She never said nothing. I didn't know what she was doing for him. She never said nothing. I found out from somebody she knew, and I asked her, and she said, "Yeah," but she never threw it up. He passed away. He didn't have life insurance. She covered the funeral and everything. And I was just like, "Yeah, why didn't you say something?" And she said, "Don't worry about it. I got it." And
Mm.
you know, she let him live like a man, so I let him die like a man. I was like, "Whoa!" Some people will let you know, "Yeah, I'm the one paying the bills up in this house," and that's not going to fly. And then thinking because you're the breadwinner that you have all of a sudden you have this, that, and the third, you know, yeah, and good things actually because um being in the position I've been in, and I cook for a lot of athletes, professional athletes. You see them out and about. You know what I mean? And they women accept them running around for the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
It will sit back and accept it for the lifestyle. They will sit there actually when I was in Jersey, it was a woman at the time. Her girlfriend caught her man cheating, did the whole song and dance, and did this, and did the whole acting a fool. And she told her, she said, "I knew because I saw the condoms." And she told her, she says, "I'm not giving up this lifestyle."
Mm.
She said she met him on the way to Section 8 when she had her son. She was on the way to the Section 8 office and met him. They had two or three more boys together. They live in a nice house, this, that, and the third. She said, "I'm not giving up all this and some woman else can." It was like Beyonce, "Ring the alarm." I put this together. I'm not, I be damn, I see another chick. This is my house. I'm not moving out so somebody else can move in. And some people feel that way. Some people will give that a pass, but let you know, like, you know, you ain't gonna make a fool out of me. But
Mm-hmm.
to me, like I say, it depends on the man's ego. Some men have an ego. Some men would rather live in the projects and be the breadwinner than live on, the suburbs with a nice house and make less than them. Some people, it depends on the person.
It definitely depends on the person, and it depends on the couple, the decision of having joint account and separate accounts and all of that. And Sassy said, when she was married, he had his account and she had hers, and it wasn't an issue. And so definitely everything is couple based.
Mm-hmm.
And but I do find that there are a lot of men, because right now there's a lot of females that just have the opportunity to make more money than some men, right? And unfortunately, there's a lot of men that say they can handle it, but then when you get with them, they really can't.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend, he kept telling her, "Well, why you buying the shoes? Why you doing this? Why you doing that?" Well, she could afford it. If I can buy my stuff and nobody's calling you for a car note, mortgage money, you don't see me in the streets and bankrupt or whatever the case may be, what I purchase is my business. Don't try to stop me because your pockets can't get that. Don't try to make me feel bad and want to and count my pockets,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like and I think that is sad, but you and I had another girlfriend. She made tons of money and she completely shared with her husband, but again, he couldn't take it. That was on him. And so he was driving her crazy, trying to make her think it was this, it was that, or whatever, when at the end of the day it really was the money. He couldn't handle it. So it's like, don't get with somebody saying you can deal with it, only to get with them and drive them crazy because you really
Mm-hmm.
can't deal with it.
Absolutely.
So stay on your level then. Don't come
Let me
over
let
this
me
way. Go ahead, Kevin.
let me ask you a question. That is an interesting thing. If I go to the store and I buy me a pair of shoes, and then I take my wife with me and we buy a pair of running shoes together, and the roles reverse now, you got the money and you come home with some, I don't know what the Jimmy Choos. I know Jimmy Choos could be pricey. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I'm not into the women's fashion like that, but I didn't know that. So you come home with some Jimmy Choos. Wouldn't it make sense if you came home with something for him that would make him feel better, or you think that's But if you can't afford it, that's not for you. I'm just wondering.
Every
Because I
time I
went out
go
and bought stuff, but
shopping,
I knew.
no, listen, every time I go shopping, yeah, it's nice every now and then you could get them something. But every time I go shopping, I don't have to purchase something for you to make you feel better too. So
No, I'm not
you
saying every
gotta,
time you go shopping. I'm just saying it's just I from my experiences
hmm
with the women I've dated, if I come in the house with a bag, it better be something in it for them also. Or I'm gonna hear about it.
that's a bit much.
I know it's a bit much, but it's real. It's real. Oh, so I don't. It's like it was a way of, unless it's something I really needed. That's one thing. But if I decide to go shopping, you know, and 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 I said,
Y'all would be
okay,
broke. So every time I buy a shoe for myself, I gotta buy you a shoe, or my
no, not
husband
for
a shoe.
me.
Like
No, not
that's,
for me. I'm just saying. I just threw it out there. I just threw it out there.
yeah, no, that's a bit much. And
That's
here's the thing.
why I
It,
like my
No, but I
separate
think you
account.
misunderstand what I'm saying. What
okay.
I'm saying is this, because women got more shoes than men anyway. But I'm saying is this: you're going out, right, and you're
hmm
coming home with nice shoes and nice purses and this. I'm saying like, okay, you go shopping five, I'm gonna say 6 times in a month, right? Do
Mhm.
you bring him back something? Like, oh yeah, and I'm saying is like, if you see somebody constantly going out and coming back and coming back and coming back, and it's like, okay, I mean, I'm just trying to understand it. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just trying to understand it. The other man's side, like, does he feel some kind of way because you're coming in with something? I don't understand. Like,
Well, for me, I know
mhm.
what I like to see on my man. I know how I like my man to smell good. I know the scents that I want to be able to smell on him at any given time. So I'm going to make sure that he looks good, he smells good, his feet are right. So I don't have a problem with making sure that if I buy me a pair of shoes, I buy him a pair of shoes. But if there's comes a time where I feel like I'm spending more than I'm supposed to. No, I'm going to pull back and say, you know what? This was just, Francis Day. This is a Franny day, but I know me. I'm going to buy for him because I know what I like him to look like. When he steps out, he's not just representing himself, he represents me. So when he steps out and they be like, okay, and he, what he's gonna say? He said, "Yeah, my woman bought that for me." So yes, I like those kind of accolades. So I'm gonna make sure he looks good. But if I need a franny day where I need to de-stress and I'll go get me a nice little massage, I get get me a mani pedi, I get my little hair done or what have you. And if I decide to buy me a pair of Jimmy Choos and don't bring him a pair of anything, he's gonna have to be okay with that. He's going to have to be okay with that. But I'm going to announce it anyway. It's Franny Day. It's absolutely Franny Day. So I'm going to take my money in my joint account.
Here go my girlfriend. Here we go again.
The Cooper
Hello.
Club, the Cooper Club,
The Cooper Club. We got
Cooper
our
Club.
girls in the building, sassy, and here we go again. So the thing is, Kevin, about that particular statement you made, right? Either the person is comfortable or they're not. And I'm not going to constantly make everything I do to try to make you comfortable. Okay. I'm not doing that. So just like, you have the right to go shopping. And if you happen to see something for me, hey, bring it. If I happen to see something for you, I'll bring it. I'm going to get it. I'm not going to not get it, but I'm not going to consciously say, okay, since I bought myself 5 items, let me go find him something so he won't feel bad about the 5 items that I bought. No, when I get home, honey, look what I got.
Okay.
So what I'm in what I was used to, I'll tell you about my situation. I told you this before, Kevin. I was used to 100% like I didn't pay anything. And my money was my money, his money was our money. Um, but that was our business though, right? And a lot of people, when they heard it, they was like, oh my God, like that's crazy, you were spoiled. But why did I have to be spoiled? That was us. So I think every couple has to make their own decision on what's going to work for them. And so, yes, every time he went shopping, he was into colognes and perfumes and all of that. So he used to buy me tons of that stuff, tons of that stuff. And I started to get into it. Like I was grateful and I appreciated it. But did I expect every time that he went to the stores, you have to buy me something? No, not at all. But did I get used to certain things? 100%. And every morning, not because I didn't have it, not because he made so much more than me. Every morning, this is when I had to, because now I work from home. When I had to go to work, every morning, like on the table, be left for me $10, $20, or whatever, so I could get my breakfast and my Starbucks or whatever I wanted to get. So every morning, it was money left for me, and then it started to be when I started getting into using the apps, it was money on my app card to get what I wanted to get. When I would go outside to drive my car, if I came home on E, the next morning I get in my car, my tank is full. So I think with relationships and with money, it's a give and take. But my thing is, don't ever give me something that you really not doing from your heart. Like, I don't want you to just do something out of routine. I want you to do it and it be heartfelt. But as I stated, in terms of the bonus, because I know God bless both of y'all for sharing your bonus. My bonus is my bonus, and it's not going in the joint account. It is going in my separate account. But if there's a crisis in the home, and we need a refrigerator or something has broken down, oh, most certainly I will take my bonus and I will get that particular item. But just on a regular basis, is my bonus going in the joint account? No. No, it's not. No. It's going in my individual account, because I was at work working hard for my bonus, and my bonus is going in my account. So when I want a pair of shoes or whatever, I don't want to have to ask to get whatever I want. So I don't want to have to ask to tap into the joint account. I think if you have a joint account, if you're tapping into it for something outside of the mortgage, the utilities or whatever, you should ask about that. I shouldn't just go in the joint account and go shopping for clothes or whatever out of that account. So I don't want to have to call and get permission before I make purchases. And that's why I'm going to need my separate account, and I'm going to need some money, got to get in there somehow. So my bonus will be in my separate account. Thank you. And I will contribute some of the money towards vacation. I'll do a little extra out of my bonus for vacation. I'll take care of the, whatever we doing on vacation, the extracurricular activities. I got you.
And that's fine. That's absolutely fine, because he obviously loved you enough to make sure all of those things were paid. He obviously loved you enough to make sure that it didn't matter if you contributed to the household. Things were going to get paid anyway. It was absolutely okay.
Thank you.
Everybody is different.
I want to ask,
and he probably didn't want.
It is kind of petty, but I didn't expect anything otherwise from you. I didn't expect anything otherwise from you, but it is what it is.
Why are you my bonus is my bonus. I worked hard for it at the job.
Mm-hmm.
Why does so the bonus should go in a joint account?
It depends on your situation.
Listening to what you were saying was, your money is your money. His money was our money. Yes. I heard you. Yes. I absolutely heard you.
Yes.
And that's fine if that's what you all set up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But guess what? He probably controlled everything. And you really didn't have a choice in the matter of whether he wanted brown or blue. So there's always when it came to certain things. So everybody is different. Everybody is, and what you probably said was, you go ahead on and get the brown because that's what you want. I want blue, so I'm going to go buy blue because I'm going to pay for it myself. And that was fine too. That's absolutely fine too. But
here we go again. Our relationship is breaking down. It's breaking down. We connected for 8 episodes and now we're having a breakdown. We need counseling. We need a mediator. But she said, because if he does all those things for you, then why not share? He kept his bonus too. Your bonus is your
if it was a
bonus.
joint account. If his money was your money.
Well, listen, Kevin.
So how did he keep it if his money was your money?
Because, listen.
His bonus is your bonus.
Well, I mean, he did nice things for me. He did nice things for me. No, listen, he did nice things for me with his bonus, and I did nice things for him with my bonus too. Okay, but the bonus was not community money. No. And if my bonus ran out before his, then I got some of his bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But carry on.
Let me ask y'all a question. And this is for the ladies who are chiming in also.
Mm-hmm.
If the man you marry has kids, adult kids, a daughter, let's say, and he goes out and purchases his daughter something expensive, do you feel he needs to bring you something as well?
No, I'm not that petty. No. Listen, when it comes to the kids, here's the thing, especially at this stage of my life, right? You good to your kids, I want you to be good to your kids. Because that's representing something in and of itself right there. I'm not going to get with a man that is not good to his kids. I'm not going to get with a man that is not good to his mother and his father. That's a sign right there. So, and listen, I'm not going to stop you because listen, either I trust you or I don't. I'm not going to stop you in the communication you have with their mother either. Not my circus, not my business. That is the mother of your children. And you need to make sure that their mother is good too, to some degree. I'm not talking about a mother that is messy, that still wants you, but that shows me a lot. If you can still be in communication with your ex and y'all have a good parenting relationship, I'm not coming in the middle of that. It's not my business, not my circus. Be good to her, be good to your kids, and I'm good. I don't have no problem with that. Buy the kids whatever they need. Matter of fact, when we go to the store, now I'll use my bonus. When we go to the store, we can get all the kids some stuff.
Absolutely.
But my bonus is just not going in the joint account.
Yeah, and that's how it was with, my thing is co-parenting is a great thing when everybody is on the same page. Absolutely, everybody has to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And when my ex decided to move on and be with his lady at that time, she had a daughter, and when I bought for Khadijah, I bought for her.
Yes.
Yeah, you see, I didn't, shy away, and she didn't want what I bought, and that was fine. I was absolutely okay with that. If there was something that she needed and they couldn't afford to do it, I didn't have a problem with sending the money so that it can absolutely happen. Right. My thing is our relationship has nothing to do with the children. It's between you and me.
Yep.
And I always told my ex, I said, if we don't make it, it's not about me anymore. Yes. It is about the time you spend with your daughter. It is 100%. About the relationship you create with your daughter. So if you can do that, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay. Now, if communication break down and something, then we all got to come back together and have a come to Jesus meeting. But, I am not, I'm not that person. Everybody got upset with me because I did not take my ex to court for child support. And I told him, I'm never going to do that. First of all, the courts and I didn't have this baby. It's between you and me. And if you cannot provide something other than time, and if I ask you for it, then it's up to you to make sure I get it. And I never had a problem with it. If I called him and say that Khadijah needed something, guess what? I got it. So me and child support, not that I don't believe in the system, because some men absolutely needs that control over their finances and to be able to support their children. But I didn't, because I knew when I got pregnant, I could afford to take care of my child if my ex could not. So, that in itself, no, absolutely. When children come into play, I didn't care about him doing for his children. Absolutely. I do what you need to do, and I'm not even questioning if you have to take it out of the Jordan. Wash hands. Yes, ma'am. I just didn't, So co-parenting I was really big on co-parenting.
Mm-hmm.
My thing was, I shouldn't have to ask you to come get your daughter. And I didn't. She stayed when she was in junior high school. She stayed with him Monday through Friday. She was home Saturdays and Sundays. When she got to high school, then it was she stayed with me. And if she decided that she wanted to go over there, because at that stage and that age, I allowed her to make the decision of whether she wanted to go and spend the weekend with her father. And he was okay with that, because of course now he's working, he's doing his thing, he has to be able to take care of his household. But it was up to them to make that decision for themselves, and they created that bond for them. So I was not, I don't condone not being a good co-parent. All of us have to live cohesively, whether you like me or not. I don't care.
Right, 100%. We are going to have a separate discussion about child support, and I'm trying to get some men and females that had to pay child support and go through the courts. And you were very fortunate, Frances, because everyone is not like that.
No,
some of them get down low and dirty and grimy with it.
Oh, absolutely.
They won't give you 2 cents for the child that they created. But we're going to save that conversation for a whole nother day. Some people don't understand how vital a solid co-parenting relationship is. Excellent, Frances. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's the key to survival for the kid. It's about the child now. Forget about us. We didn't make it. We couldn't make it. All right, it happened. Let's let it go. But this child needs to be priority number 1.
Absolutely.
But you need both people. You need both people to agree to that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have one unwilling party, you can't do much.
Absolutely.
You can't do much.
It takes a village.
Absolutely.
Yes, it takes a village.
Absolutely.
And so I've heard some horror stories, and I just it was, people fighting over vacations and things that, to me, it was simple. I was telling one guy, I said, well, why don't one person just get Thanksgiving and the other person get Christmas? And he said, Kevin, that makes sense. She don't make no sense. It was a constant fight. It was I gave you Thanksgiving, let me get Christmas. Or, you know what? I let them stay with you Christmas morning. They call me Christmas evening. Then you go get them. It's a fight, and I'm thinking, and the thing was.
But you want to know what the fight is really about? One party did not get over the other person yet, because I straight up said you can have every holiday. Because you know what? It's a day. It's a day. To me, it's 365 days in a year, right? A day is a day to me. So you don't want Christmas? I can do Christmas on the 23rd, the 24th, January the 1st. It don't matter to me. You can take every holiday. You can have the summer. You can have the birthday. But when he come home, I can celebrate his birthday then. It's not that serious.
Absolutely.
Some people be looking for a fight. So then he was like, oh, what type of mother are you because you don't want the kid on a holiday? I'm like, yo, you just want to fight. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you can have all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You can have every weekend. Not that I don't
Absolutely.
love my kid, but I'm not here to fight. This is about the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the right thing. So,
Absolutely.
but it takes two. When you want to co-parent, it says co-parent. You need both of the parties to agree. And it's so, and like, you know what? Sometimes, like, you'll lay down the line and give up so much of yourself in the name of the kid. But then sometimes what I learned with people, you got to give them what they giving you so they can understand that you ain't playing this game. All right,
Absolutely.
you want to get gutter, I'm gonna get gutter too, cause I'm gonna tell you're not gonna walk over me. Now
Absolutely.
we gonna get this together, babe. We did the holidays together, even that. See, that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
But you right there. Thanksgiving can be what we could do whenever. We can sit this turkey up here when
Absolutely.
he get home next week. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, before I became a full-time entrepreneur, I always said if I work for 2 weeks and I get paid for 2 weeks, Merry Christmas. What you want? The bills are paid. Merry Christmas. We got this money left over after everything is taken care of. Let's go. I can't take the money with me. So we might as well
Exactly.
enjoy it while I'm here. So
Yes.
Merry Christmas, Francis. You made it 2 weeks and now you're absolutely able to do what you want with the money that you earn. So, I never stopped him from saying, I mean, he didn't celebrate Christmas anyway, but whenever she wanted to go see her father, that was fine. And
Deuces. Have
yeah,
fun. Call me. And now it's so good because you have these cell phones, way back when we still had the house phones and all that.
mhm.
I ain't stopping you. Text him, call him, FaceTime him, do
That
whatever
was
y'all
the
want to
best thing
do.
I ever could do was get her a
What?
cell phone.
Do whatever
That
y'all
was
want
the
to
best
do.
thing I could ever, because that meant that he did not have to call my number.
Yes,
You could
you want
call
to
your
look at
daddy
me?
whenever you want. I didn't have to hear the I miss my daddy message. I miss it. Can I call my dad? You call your daddy whatever you want to
Yeah.
do. You do that. She said dating for the girls
Dating,
divorce was
dating,
awkward though.
dating. Yeah, it's different, and you have to be careful when you're dating and you have children.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be so careful. We're gonna tap on that conversation in a minute, but before we go there, another one of the five common reasons that people break up is infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to go back to the series, but they're dealing with that infidelity. And I said too that cheating starts with these sneaky conversations, text messages, DMs, and people want to act like it's nothing. But once you let another individual infiltrate your relationship, you're going down the wrong road.
Mm-hmm.
You have to nip it in the bud when they even try to flirt with you.
Right.
You got to let them know that you're not having it. I had this demeanor where it was like people knew, don't even try to approach me because all I was about was my man and our relationship, and you not coming in between this.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute you weak and you let somebody even think they can do that, if you don't stop the flirt, then you open the floodgate
Absolutely.
for them to do and say whatever. What do you think about
Absolutely.
this infidelity piece, Kevin?
Simple question. Why did you get married? Why did you get married?
Hmm. Do you know Buster?
Yeah, hit him up.
But he's not showing his face. Text him, tell him you got to show his face.
Oh my God. Hold up.
He just put on his audio, so he should be able to hear you.
He can hear us, but you gotta show that. You gotta show your face, Buster. You coming to this party. We gotta see your face.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He's muted though, Kev. Tell him I'm gonna remove him for now.
I
But
text.
yeah,
I
text
text.
him. Tell him he gotta show his face up in this party. Okay, because when
Right.
you speak, We want to see your face, your facial expressions.
Exactly.
You gotta be all up in it. We in this right now. He coming through the building. When he comes
All
through
right.
the building, he gotta show his face. Okay,
Um,
I never understood why a person who chooses is allegedly a free country. You can, yes, 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 and yes.
it,
You tear down the whole person when you're cheating on them and being sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
And it rips at the core of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to do so much work on yourself when someone that you love so much, especially when you find out and you didn't know what's going on. It breaks you so bad you feel like you can't even put the pieces back together. It's so heart wrenching. And you're looking at this person like, yo, you did this to us? You let that chick right there break us? Like, what were you thinking? What were you doing? And see, let me tell you something too, Kevin, then I'm going to let you speak. The other problem with that is they are seeing the other person that's trying to come into your relationship, they're seeing what you and your significant other built. And they're thinking, oh, when I come in, that's what I'm going to have. Well, honey, you're not going to have this right here. You want to know why? Because you don't even know the behind the scenes work that was put in for this to be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you get in these good conversations and all that, but you don't know when he walked out the house. Like you said, Francis, the reason why he walking out the house looking like that, because I'm the one behind what you seeing.
Absolutely.
So you better get ready for what you think you about to take.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't even know how to maintain it and what's going on. But you about to see, girlfriend, and trust me, you ain't gonna be able to handle it.
Oh, that's right.
Not gonna be able to handle it. Because when you come into my life, you will be changed for the better. And no one after me, and it has nothing to do with looks. It has nothing to do with any of that. Okay. It has nothing to do with the looks, the sex, the food, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No one after me will be able to measure up and live up to everything that I did for you. So carry on. And good luck to her, because she don't even know what she came for.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
damn.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Kevin.
But damn,
Is
I ain't.
Buster going to show his face?
Exactly. Oh, I hear
I
you,
don't
boo.
know. I feel like I cheated. Anyway, honestly, it's a simple, and like I said, simple question. Why did I get married?
Right.
And so some people, and this is when I look at people and what they call, I think it's called poly relationships.
Mm-hmm.
People in open marriages.
Mm-hmm.
If that's for you, then that's for you. You might as well jump on that. You know what I mean? Some people, maybe it's the thrill of it. I don't know. Some people, no matter what you do, they're going to cheat.
Mm-hmm.
There's just some group of people, no matter what you do, they're going to cheat.
Yeah.
Cheating has so many
So many
avenues.
roles. In
Yeah,
so
so many
many
roads
roles.
to it.
Some of it
So
happens innocently though, right? Some of it happens because when you at work and you physically work in the office, sometimes you are literally with your work buddies more than you are with your home family in
Mm-hmm.
terms of timing, right? Because you work anywhere from 8 to 10 hours out of a day. And some of these slick chicks, okay, some of these slick little side chicks, they
Mm-hmm.
do it real easy and smooth. First, they want to just bring you, oh, I was at Dunkin' Donuts. I know you like light and sweet. I just got this for you. And y'all so weak. You're like, you drinking it like, oh, thank you. Instead of telling her right there, that was nice of you. Don't bring me no coffee no more. So now you accepted the coffee. So now the door is open. And now the next day she bringing you coffee and a donut. Okay. Then next she's having lunch with you.
Yeah,
The
but
next she want to call
yeah.
you and give you some of her problems. And now you all wrapped in. Go ahead, Francis. Don't get me
Well,
started.
I didn't get to my
there
okay.
has to be something that's going on at his house
Yes,
for him to even step into that situation. Because if
yes,
he's getting everything that he needs from his girl, from
true.
his lady, from his wife, there's no breaking that anyway. There's no accepting the key. There's no at my house on the couch thinking about you. Absolutely not. No, she said not a bear claw. So, but I also want to address, here we go again's question about a poly relationship. A poly relationship is a relationship where it's usually one man and two women.
Mm-hmm.
And that woman serves both the man and the woman. So bringing in a third person, sometimes a fourth, just multiple people in a relationship. Now, to me, that never works because a lot of times the relationship can turn where the woman may become more involved with the other woman and feelings start to get caught up, and or the man is that's in that relationship becomes more involved with the woman that's not his wife. So so if you ever hear in so if you ever hear anyone say that they're looking for a unicorn, that's what a poly relationship is. And
Mm. Well, there was another movie. I gotta think. I can't think of the name, Kevin. I don't know if you remember the name. There's another movie on Netflix that is that exact situation, Francis. That was another good
Oh,
movie too.
365.
No, not it wasn't 365. It was the other one where it was the
Oh,
other one where it was the
yeah,
other
her
one
pregnant.
where there was this couple. They were completely in love. They was actually like, in terms of like the level of love, they was actually like a Brad and a Billy. But they wasn't doing all the shenanigans like they are, right? And but then they met this young girl and they wanted to have a threesome. They had this threesome. But he broke the rules because he went off and did something with the girl when they wasn't all together. Next thing you know, baby girl pregnant.
mm-hmm.
So now his main girl falls all the way out, like she couldn't believe it, and she straight left. And I mean, when I say that girl, the other chick was his soulmate, it was his soulmate. But I will say this, he was a stand-up guy because he went with the pregnant girl and tried to make a family and take care of this baby. But the whole time he couldn't shake out of his head his
Yeah,
true
like,
soulmate. But the only difference is he did not do a Billy and keep running and running after her, but he was thinking about the girl all the time in her head.
yeah.
Those situations never work. Never work. No one, you should not introduce, you're a couple. You do not introduce another party into your relationship. That's my take on
That
that.
it's for me as well. But if that's the situation that you all agree to, that's y'all
Well,
are adults. Y'all are adults. I cannot tell you what to do in your marriage, just like you can't tell me what to do in mine. Everybody is different. So if that's what you choose to do, then that's fine. But look, no, it's not always about the guy wanting this other girl. The wife could be that person who's more sexual than her husband. So she may be the one that wants the third person in there.
hey,
So
Marcella. She said the elite do it all the time.
they
She's talking
do.
about
They absolutely do. They
Mm-hmm.
do. And I'm just not that person. When I was in that lifestyle, then it was okay because that's what I wanted at the time. I'm not there anymore. So I chose to be with someone who doesn't want that either. So we have an understanding.
Yeah, I would never allow, oh wait, I would never allow it either. It's just not, I think the minute you introduce someone else in your relationship,
Mhm.
it just opens the door for trouble. But if we're
Absolutely.
not talking about when we talk about, these women who are looking at your relationship, or maybe it's a man.
Mhm.
You right. Some of them is because something is going on at home. Others is because they just simply like attention, and they get distracted easy.
Stop it.
We're
Stop
not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. We're
it.
not gonna go
Stop
there.
it. Stop it. You know what? That was a bucket list. It listed.
The
It is
bucket list,
now,
the bucket
and I
list, the
am
bucket got
done with
kicked. We
it.
kicked the bucket. Me and Brandon kicked the bucket. We boot that bucket way up on us.
It's over with. You know, it was
That bucket's been
something that
gone. That
happened.
bucket has flipped over
You
several
know,
times. Right in the heel.
and yeah, that was
Burnt the bucket. The
it was
bucket melted.
fun. Absolutely,
Hit 'em.
it was fun. It was fun. I'm not going to tell you it wasn't, but
hit
I
'em.
was single. I did not have a husband, and I felt that I could do this because I was single and I did not have a husband. Yes, I could do that because I was single and I didn't have a husband.
Here
And
we go again.
I enjoyed that life. Then
Hold up.
it didn't
Here we
last
go
long,
again.
trust me,
Here
because
we
of
go
all
again.
of the
You told me to shut up.
shenanigans. Uh,
I was there holding the camera. Be
yes,
quiet. I
yes.
was there
You
holding the
know,
camera.
all of
Be
the
quiet.
shenanigans that go on in that lifestyle. But you know, you just have to be strong enough and open enough with your sexuality to understand where you're going when you get into that lifestyle, because it's not just about being super freaky. It's not about being super horny all the time. No, it was not. It was relationships that happened. And no, I did not pull anybody out of the lifestyle to be in a relationship, because that's not what I wanted. I wanted somebody that was completely away from that, and then we were going to start fresh. Does he know about my lifestyle? Absolutely.
Well, Marcella got a good question for you, Francis.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
It's like
Absolutely
the lifestyle is like fast food, and a relationship is like a home cooked meal.
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep eating McDonald's.
Absolutely.
You're going to need something with substance.
Yes.
And so if you eat fast food, you know you eat it, it fills you up, but then you notice you get hungrier afterwards. You eat a home cooked meal, it settles in, you feel better, you know, you digest it better. And that's what it is. That's the best way I could describe it. It's
Absolutely.
fast food, and too much fast food, it gets you sick.
Mm.
I like that analogy. Look at there.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, it was fun, but nah, I'm good with it. Like I said, it was a bucket list. Hell, we all did things when we were younger and carefree, so it was good, got a little deeper with it. Hey, you know, and guess what? At 51 years old, I have no problem talking about it, because why? I was an adult when I did it, and I'm still an adult. I pay my own bills, I do my own thing, and I owe nobody no justice over what I've done in my life. I owe you nothing. I owe you nothing. Now, if I was married doing this behind my husband's back, absolutely, that would have been wrong, and karma would have probably been all over my life. But that wasn't what it was. I was single. I was absolutely single when it happened.
And just to kind of put it back up, that's that when you're in that situation, your mindset is totally different.
Absolutely.
Your mindset is totally different. And so you just think differently, you move differently. So, you know, I mean, like I said, you're in a whole different space. You're in a whole different space.
Yeah. Cheating comes on so many different levels. But I want to say
you have to say yes.
Huh?
At the end of the day, you have to say yes. Like when you mentioned the donut analogy, it was funny because with me, it was actually food. The girl brought food to work, and she said, "Oh, I'm not going." I was hungry as hell too, and I ain't think nothing of it. I didn't think nothing of it. I swear to you, I'm sitting there. I'm in the kitchen working, and she said, "Oh, I just came from. I forgot that restaurant in Texas." She said, "I just came from such and such. I got an extra whatever." I said, "I took it and ate it." I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I didn't think nothing of it until one of the coworkers said, "Yo, she was asking about you." And I said, "What?" And he said, "They
Why
was
you
asking
so
about you."
slow?
Huh?
Why you so slow?
We men. So I was sitting there and I'm like, huh? He said, she was asking about you. So in my mind, I'm thinking, why is she asking about me? Like he might. So then at that point, I already knew where I was at. So I controlled the narrative from that point on. And so the next time I saw her, I was cold as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I was cold, and I was giving my boy a ride home, and he looked at me and said, "You real?" And I said, "Why would I get married?" That's the question. Why would
She
I get
is
married?
hilarious.
So,
Well, and at that point, some women would do what other women choose not to do. And a lot of men, they enjoy it. I like giving it. So it doesn't matter for me. I'm going to always have my man happy.
Well, Sassy though, my question is though, did you ever once do it in the beginning? Did you change up?
For what?
Cause Sassy, this is what Sassy said.
No, I've always enjoyed it.
No, not you,
Always.
Francis. Not
Oh, you're
you.
asking that for
I'm
Sassy.
asking Sassy. Did you ever do it in the beginning and did you change up? So do you think people cheat in relationships because something is missing in a relationship? Not all of them.
yes.
Not all of them. Some people
So,
are just natural born cheaters.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, true.
Some people
But
That's
just
true.
natural born cheaters. They get everything and they still want more. Billy was a prime example.
but
But who did she cheat on other than Cooper? She never
Well,
cheated
I
on
think it was a
Brad. She
prime
never
example of
cheated
she's
on
getting
those
everything. She's
other
getting
guys she was
everything.
involved with. She never cheated. Why
mm,
were you cold?
Thank you. Thank you. Here we go again. Thank you.
I already cooked the damn food.
Thank
He
you.
was
No
hungry.
thanks.
Did you hear
No
him?
thanks was too
He
late.
said he was hungry. But that
No,
to
but
me would have
afterwards,
been
once you
fine.
found
But
out
she
why
never
she bought you the sandwich, you was cold to her. You just say no thanks. That's all. You don't gotta be nasty to her.
No, I wasn't nasty. It was she was flirt. I was walking out. She was flirting with me. So when she spoke to me, it was, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "What's up?" and kept it moving. It was no like, she would come, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on?" You know what I mean? Like that. So there was no small talk. So when I said I was cold, I wasn't an asshole. I just was walking towards her. She saw me. I made sure there was distance between us. No half hug, none of that. And I said, "What's up?" Gave the head nod. "What's up?" and kept it pimping.
sound good to
That's
me.
what you get.
Sound
So by
good to
that
me.
way, I put that gap in between us. So I wasn't disrespectful. I didn't go out of my way to be disrespectful to her. That wasn't that case. But I just gave a hand nod and kept it pimping. What's up, yo?
Mhm.
Boom.
And it's no different than a man who, and and they talk about how men are hunters, and they can honestly sense when a woman is not happy at home, so they find themselves on this. She says, so she had cooties all of a sudden. No, he had a
It
white
did. I wasn't
on,
gonna find
and
out.
he
So
didn't
that
want to have to start no drama. And I get it. I absolutely get it. But these women also know that these men are married and they go after what they want as well. And
that
it's
ring is a chick magnet.
crazy.
You don't give a damn what anybody say.
Who?
That wedding ring is a chick magnet.
Yeah, it is because they can send you home just like you can send a baby home that don't belong to you. So what? She shouldn't have brought it. And then
Oh,
say to him, "Oh, I have something extra. If I'm hungry, I'm going to take it." So what? That means that I'm supposed to have sex with you because you brought me food, girl. Please,
all
sorry.
right, guys. Let's delve into this topic. Another one of the common things is they say constant arguing. Well, once you're at that point, the communication has broken all the way down.
Mhm.
So it's like, what do you do? Do you think that if you're at the point where every little thing irritates you and y'all arguing, do you think there's a comeback from that point? Can you recover? Can you have good communication? Can you bring it back?
Somebody has to be the seer of good through all of it, and especially if you know that what you're arguing about is um what you're arguing. Yeah, he said he had on his wedding ring. Absolutely. So somebody has to be the one that says, you know what, if you want to argue, go and argue. My ex-husband used to do that all the time, argue to get out the house. I said, you don't have to argue with me to leave. Leave. I'm not going to sit here angry and upset because you decided to leave the house. Go.
I'm gonna say this: is how you react to it. Because I had an ex-girlfriend who could liquefy herself, get in a syringe and get underneath my skin, and she used to get under, and I was like, but in hindsight, she had issues that she had to address, and so that's what they end up doing, in the long run. She would get underneath my skin, and I didn't understand why, because she grew up in a toxic environment, and so because she grew up in a toxic environment, uh, she didn't know how to deal with certain situations. Because I noticed we would have a couple of good days, and then always an argument would be over the little simplest stuff. Okay, so it would be over the simplest stuff.
He said no. She told him from the beginning, so that's his fault. That's his fault. I'm talking to Sassy. He knew that's not what you wanted to do, and he proceeded with the relationship. So he can't be mad that wasn't happening. That's his fault. But yeah, I'm talking to Sassy, Kevin, about a prior situation. So what we go ahead, Kevin, finish up.
No, I'm saying is that I lost my thought now.
So, Rob, we on the topic of arguing, and you saying
so are we arguing? So she started argument, but I realized it was something issues. She had underlying issues in her past. Some people think, in a roundabout way, some people look at abuse as love because they grew up in an abusive situation. Some people look at arguing as that's what it is. And so for me, what I learned is it takes two to argue. I'll walk away. I'll walk away in a minute. I'll walk out the house. You sit here arguing by yourself. You go ahead and have an argument festival. I'll put some headphones in my ear and roll over. So I'm not going to let you, how they say, blow my high or mess me up because you can't get yourself together. What are we really arguing about?
Absolutely.
Are we arguing about nothing? What are we discussing? Okay. And, and this is so usually when you're discussing something, you're trying to come to a solution. When you're arguing, you're just going back and forth and no one's listening. So if we having a discussion, so what's the problem? Let's identify the problem. Now what's the solution? You know what I mean? And the relationship is give and take. So sometimes you have to give, sometimes you have to take, do whatever, how it's got to be done. But I don't believe in constant arguing. To me, is that's the end of the relationship. At the end of the relationship, I don't see
constant arguing for sure. I don't see. But I think here we go again. Said you can come back from it. Okay, let me see what Marcella said. I got a friend that has been having an affair. She has a good husband and the man is married to a good wife. To watch them around our group, I'd be devastated. The partners don't know. The women are. Oh, that's the women are friends. Oh, that's.
Oh. I've been in that situation. Sad. I removed myself.
That I don't like. That I don't like. Don't. If you're going to cheat on your mate and all of us are friends as couples, don't bring the side chick to an event. Because that's so unfair. That's so unfair.
That's how you developed the show Snap.
Right. It's true.
That's how the show Snap got developed.
It's true.
That's how the show, because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. That's how the show Snap got developed. You going to mess around, she going to snap. Everybody going to be dead. I ain't got time for that. No.
Call her. Yeah, call her. And just go. Like we said, though, why cheat? Just say, listen, I'm done with you. It's over.
Because they want their cake and eat it too. And it's no different on the woman's side. Because they can be doing the same thing. Yes, but they cheat. They could be doing the same thing. And guess what? Just tell them you're not happy anymore and move on. But you want to be the Billy. You want that security. And you don't, you stay over there with the secure side because, you taking care of business. But let me go have my 15% of fun. I'm not, no. Mm-mm.
Let me
Yeah.
answer. Here we go
And
again.
wait, and here we go again. You are correct. It's so disrespectful to the rest of the group because
With
not because you're condoning it, you don't want to be rude to this side chick, but
Mm.
at the same time, you like, yo, this is messy. How am I supposed to even look in your wife's face again, knowing we was just around like this side chick? It's messed up.
I'm gonna tell you how you do it. I'm gonna tell you how you do it. You control the narrative by not having them come around anymore, or you don't be around
Yeah,
no
you
more.
can, but you already saw it, so it's
But
like
no,
you
but what I'm
still.
saying, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. I had a situation I had a little get together at the house, right?
Mhm.
And so one of the guys who was supposed to come, he didn't end up coming, and he was coming with his lady. Well, he had an affair with the girl
Another
I was
girl.
with. Yeah, the girl I was with, friend. And so she was bringing her. I said, "Oh, you're not coming up in here with that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're not coming up in here with that. I ain't snitching,
Exactly.
but you're not coming that up in here." I said, "Cause y'all mess around, some good said, and y'all break and knock down my TV. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be fighting." And I said, "So everybody, I don't condone that. I'm not telling you what to do, but
Mm-hmm.
if Cheryl is married, but yet she cheating with dude over here, y'all ain't coming to my barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to be able to do it. It's not going to happen, and then I'm not going to be around that toxic stuff because, to me, you look like the biggest fool when you sitting there and I'm saying, hold up. So my lady was cheating on me, and then she was bringing dude around you, and you knew about it. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's just the
Like,
ultimate
or
disrespect.
you bringing the dude around me. Like,
Disrespecting the
if
group.
you bold enough to cheat on me, and you gonna bring a dude around me, and I don't care if we broke up and I found out 3-4 years later, there's gonna be some problems
Ah,
because that's disrespectful.
here we go again. You're right. The cheaters are literally making everyone else around them liars, and it's so unfair. It's
Mm-hmm.
so unfair. I totally agree with you. Marcella said the women share their secrets with each other. My eyes be bulging. I tried to separate myself because my friend oversteps to fix his plate. My husband doesn't like it, period. Yeah. It's unfair to all the other people. It's
Mm-hmm.
so unfair. It's not right. Now you go look in their faces and one of them getting cheated on and a fake smile or break their hearts. I know. I know. It's dreadful. It's just dreadful. It's the worst
Mm-hmm.
thing to do.
Yeah.
But
That's a why did I get
infidelity,
married scenario.
right,
Hmm.
right. So
That's a why did I get
infidelity,
married scenario.
And
yeah.
you know what? Can we go to it since we go? I'm gonna use that show, that movie, because I have a favorite scene in that movie, and we talked about this about secrets. When he walk around that table and say everybody got secrets,
Mm-hmm.
and he throw everybody's secrets out there,
Mm-hmm.
and it destroys the whole dinner.
Exactly.
How many secrets do you keep from your spouse,
You
or
shouldn't
what
keep
secrets, if
any.
any?
You shouldn't
Huh?
keep any, unless there is a relationship between you and your girlfriend, and she said, "Please don't tell anybody." I'm going to my grave with that secret. It is none of nobody's business what she confided in me. You know, I can't say that every other secret is going to be there, but yeah, no, absolutely not. I'm not
No,
keeping no secret from a man. I can't do it.
Dinner
yeah.
scene in part one, in the part one.
Part two is
Here we go
actually,
again.
was
That's
it part
part one.
two? Part, oh yeah,
Part
part
one.
one.
They was
Part
up
one.
at the
Yeah,
mountains in the snow. When he was in the mountains, yeah.
right, right. When they
But
went away for the
yeah,
weekend.
and guess what? Everything he learned from the girl side was pillow talk from his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So when he said everybody got secrets, oh, let's talk about secrets. I said,
So
oh
Mm-hmm.
dang,
see
that's
that,
my
and
favorite scene. I'm
that's
sorry.
messed up. That's messed up. So I would always tell. I never kept any secrets. I would always tell my mate everything, but I was like, don't say a word. Do not treat this person differently. Don't say anything.
Mhm.
So he knew everything, but at the same time, I was like, don't treat him differently. Act like you don't even know. Make this mission impossible. Once I tell you, just blow the paper up and don't say nothing. Okay? So you cannot treat the person differently when you know the business. You can't say a word. You have to let it go. But your mate has to be that person that's strong enough. And like you said, he knew everything because his wife told him, and he gonna sit there and tell all the business. Shut
Absolutely.
your mouth.
Yeah,
You do not. Pillow talk stays in the room.
Mm-hmm.
When you
exactly.
get up out the bed, it doesn't go anywhere from there.
Yeah.
If I
That's
told you today that my bestie pissed me off, you don't look at my bestie sideways when you see her tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm probably gonna be fine with it anyway.
mm-hmm. Well, I
You
ain't gonna
let it
tell it
go.
anyway, because to me, that I know my girl. So I'm mad right now. It's okay. And he may ask me if I'm speaking to her right now. No, you know, we'll work that out. We'll work that
I
out, no
told,
matter
I
what it
told,
is.
I told everything, but we literally went everywhere together. We did everything together.
Mhm.
And so I said everything, and to the point where our trust was broken. And then once our trust was broken, then I couldn't even find myself to say almost anything. And we might as well segue into that. I don't know if there's a recovery back from broken trust. I don't think it is. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. I think
No,
maybe you can stay together after trust is broken, but I think things will never be the same.
it can't be.
That's my opinion.
It can't be. But what irritates me the most is when if you do break up, you treat that other person with the same. You don't give that person the benefit of the doubt that they can be trusted. You go into this relationship with no trust of this next person, and that I don't think that's fair to that person. If you need to work your stuff out before you get into another relationship, then do that, but don't bring that drama from that previous relationship into the new one.
You can't bring the baggage. You
No.
can't bring the baggage. I can let go. I have the ability to treat every person differently, but the minute I can't trust you, I'm not going to stick around and let me try to figure it out. No, that saying where they say when a person show you who they are, believe them. I'm gonna believe you, deuces.
If there's
Yeah,
a
I haven't found it either.
broken
Here we
trust, I
go
haven't
again.
found. No, I don't think there never will be. There
Yeah,
never will be.
and, 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 and that's why it's so sad that people take it so lightly, and that you will easily allow trust to be broken. It's so sad. But Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Um, when you say trust, you're talking about, I guess, infidelity.
No, just trust. No, it doesn't have to be infidelity.
Doesn't
Trust
have
can
to
be, trust can be broken again with these sneaky texts. Is Buster going to show his face? Like I see him there. Nope, you're gonna hide. Well, we can't come in the building. You want to come in this building? You gotta show your face. Gotta show your face.
Um, I'm gonna say
So-
trust because I give example. I say something like, "Look, you know, things are coming up. Don't spend no extra money, but you sneak a pair of shoes. Is that trust? Or is that little? You know what I mean? Um, to me, you got the trust is infidelity, stealing. Um, but once the trust is broken, and I have nothing to say. You know what I mean? Because at this point, in Francis Doe's my last ex situation, and she, it was what it was, and I was like, okay, trust is broken. Why even keep communication open? It made no sense to me. Not saying I was bitter or I'm still bitter. It's over. It's moved on, but I can't trust the word coming out of your mouth.
exactly.
So you lied and you stole. What?
oh, there
What is?
we go. Wait, hold on.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah.
Hey,
can.
Buster.
Okay, I'm in a car. I just finished a photo shoot, so y'all won't be able to see me clearly.
All right,
Hey,
you can, you
we
can
got
talk.
you. What up, Buster?
Hey, what's going on, lady? How y'all doing?
Fan
Oh, all is well. So what part of this you want to chime in on?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, wherever y'all tell me, I gotta catch up. I could. I had to try to maneuver through shooting pictures, watching a football game, and watching you all. So I was multitasking.
Okay, wait, you're giving a lot of feedback. Are you still like in the live too,
Yeah,
trying to
no,
watch it? You
Samaria.
gotta shut it down.
So it's like
The live feed, I gotta shut it down. Hold on. Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Does
I'm
that work
still
better?
getting No, I'm still getting the feedback of it sounds like we're hearing the live.
Oh, I know why. Hold on one second.
Okay. And then we did lose you. So we're gonna bring another man in the building. Kevin been holding it down. We're gonna see what this brother got to say. Gonna see what he got to say. But as we're waiting for him to come back through, lack of intimacy. Um, let me see what she said here. He pulled a Cooper D, but he was dividing his time with you in a football game.
Sorry, he goes a little longer than 2 minutes.
So lack of intimacy is definitely a relationship killer. And of course, we know when we say that, we're not just talking about sex, right?
Exactly.
You're talking about, and here's the thing, to me, sex is always going to be better and more powerful if the closer y'all are mentally, the more y'all do together and share together, the more y'all are connected. When you're actually physically touched, it can be explosive.
Exactly.
So, like I said, and I think, it's hard when I explain, my previous relationship to people, they think, oh my God, like you were so spoiled. First of all, I say to myself, I tell people like we practically grew up together. So I met him in my 20s and we was together for 20 plus years. So we practically grew up together, right? And so we was there when we had zero all the way up to when we had more than zero, right? And we shared in the beginning when we barely had anything. So there was a lot of trust built up there, right? We was together when we would go to the diner and maybe only have $25. We would order one meal, we split the meal, we both get a drink. So that's the type of relationship we had. That's how we kind of came together. So naturally, when we started having more money, the sharing was easy because we were sharing our whole time together. It wasn't unfamiliar ground. And so that's why too, like it was a certain trust there. Like I'm not trying to beat you out your cash. You're not trying to beat me out my cash because we had this familiarity where we've been doing this all along our whole relationship. And
But
that's
also,
why I woke up every morning and the money was on the table for me to go get whatever food I wanted to get. That's why when I stepped in my car was full with gas or whatever the case may be. That's why I got all of these things that I wanted because we knew each other and there was a certain level of trust there. And it wasn't about, oh, I'm trying to take your money or you're trying to take mine. It was just what we did.
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna say this. That's what probably made it easier because y'all came up in a situation we didn't have nothing, so it's easier. When
Mm-hmm.
you get older and you've been through more, and now you may have a little more. Now it navigates differently. You know what I mean? It navigates differently. So, but the intimacy part to me, I always say sex doesn't always start in the bedroom.
Right,
Okay?
right,
Foreplay could be all day, and holding hands, you know, being, a little peck on the cheek, kissing the forehead, a grab, a touch. You like that. And so I like that. So the thing is that intimacy is not always behind closed doors, but certain people have a problem with it. Believe it or not, and even though women are more into it, there are women who are really like they have a problem. They don't want to. They don't want public space of affection. They don't want to hold hands. They don't want to be
Doesn't
touched.
have to be. It doesn't have to be public though.
Yeah,
You can have intimacy in your home. It doesn't have to be public. It could be in your home. It could be through the text message throughout the day. It could be through a phone call. It's different acts that can connect you together, but you cannot be telling your mate off all day and then think you're going to come home and have this wonderful, intimate section of sex when all day you've been cutting me down, bump, 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 bump. Now, what do you want? Like, how do you want this connection to happen? Do you think that connection is going to solve all of the previous problems that we had? It's not.
I think intimacy is letting your mate know you love them and they're beautiful. I think making so. I love this song by Ruben Studdard. I want to make you feel beautiful, and that's how I feel. I want to make you feel beautiful, no matter what. No matter if you that time of the month. No matter if you sick. No matter what. I want to make you feel beautiful. And I
It's the
think
it's
that's
the it's the
So let
little
me,
things.
can I jump in here?
Yes, you can.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
jump in?
Jump in.
So I think one of the things as we look at our world today where we have a lot of looking at energy and so forth, I think intimacy comes into that transferring of energy. And what I mean by that is not just the physical, it's that mental connection that you have with one another. So when you're transferring that energy to the other person, that intimacy can be through a look, it could be through a touch. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the bedroom. When you connect on that level, then the intensity of connecting in your bedroom is so much greater when you're connecting with that energy. We can all be physical with one another. That's simple. To be honest with you, being physical is the most simple thing to do. But when you find that energy to connect, in other words, people might say when you're vibing with someone, when you get that energy and you start to transfer that to one's body through one another, then that intimacy can happen in anything that you do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well said. Well said.
Absolutely.
Well, we're glad we let you in the building, even though you're not showing that face. We're glad we let you in the building. That is 100% true. It's
Absolutely.
like everything becomes so much more intense when you just share that energy and y'all just vibing. And see, really, to be honest with you, that's what happened between Billy and Brad. It wasn't just about the sex. It's about the energy. It's about the energy they had. And that's why she kept forgiving him and saying, you could come back, you could come back, you could come back. Because the energy would, and you can't, and it's not easy to find that energy either.
Nope.
So when you find it and when you experience it, you never forget it. And you will try to chase it your entire life if the person that you felt that with, if you and that person didn't work out, you cannot go down. So, when I talk with my girlfriends all the time, it's like, once you experience this, you can't go back to this, whatever this is. Once you had this level, you can't go back down or because you're never going to be satisfied.
Mhm.
So it's like, for me, I know what I'm used to in a relationship. And I'm not going to go down the level just to be in a relationship. That person got to come here or higher, or I'll just stay single and do whatever it is I got to do for myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
100% agree.
Well, people change.
I don't. I rather not have sex all the time. But if you give me some true intimacy, and we ain't gotta be in my bedroom, we can be outside. I love public displays of affection, and I absolutely love being next to my man, being able to hold his hand, being able to wrap my arms around him when I feel like it, being able to just have a simple conversation. See, to me, intimacy means time
Yes.
spent. It doesn't have to be time spent in the sheets. It doesn't, taking a shower together, just being in that same space with him is always a great thing for me. So when he has to get up and go to work, Yeah. You got to get that time in, right? So it's a good thing that you have amazing intimacy, and that to me, if you want to, I'm going to always say it. Billy was starving for that because she was used to getting it, and now the focus was on Cooper's job. So that's where a lot of that breakdown happened.
So, Buster, since you just joined us, we'll step back for a moment. What do you think about the money situation in a couple relationship? Should it be joint accounts? Should it be a mixture of joint and you have your account and your mate has their account? And are you, if you get a bonus on your job, are you sharing your bonus?
Yeah, I think it should be a joint account to pay all of the household bills, and then you can have your separate account for your disposable cash. But there should be a joint account to address the household bills. That should be number one. That's what it is, and then you can have your separate accounts. If I get a bonus, yeah, you should share your bonus with your mate. It's a mutual thing. Um, put it towards something for both of you, and you can still have your disposable cash. But if you take your finances and you live independent, then that means in your household you'll always live independently. And
Mm.
that's something you have to realize, that if you're looking to be a couple, then you start to mesh together and mend together. But if you look to have your separate in everything that you do, then in essence
Mhm.
you're not a couple, you're roommates. And that's how you look at it. You're roommates,
Mm.
and that's how you're living, and you understand that's how you feel. But yes, you should have joint accounts to handle all the household bills, so there's never an issue. And what you have disposable, that's your money there, and do it in that fashion.
All right. Well, I like that concept. You living as roommates, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of people do. A lot of people do.
Exactly. Exactly.
You think they're a couple, and they put there, and you look up, and it's like, I got mine, she got hers, and when you go in that house, you realize that that's how they live.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Buster, if your wife was the breadwinner in your home, do you have a problem with that?
When you say breadwinner, does that mean making more money than myself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean that's the current situation now. No, I have no problem with it. I don't have no problem with it. She makes more money now. I'm not mad. It don't make me less of a man. I mean, you know
Uh,
what I mean? It don't
Thank
make
you.
me less of a man. And what it does is it affords us our lifestyle. That's how I look at it. So what
Amen.
I bring in, what she brings in, when we combine it, it affords us our lifestyle that we live. And that, no, it doesn't lessen me in any fashion. Lessen
Okay.
me at all.
Absolutely. So she doesn't pay more of your bills, then it's still 50-50.
Well, what we do is we do a percentage, like whoever makes more puts in more into the household bill. That's all we do. So we just take it, divide it, and then we do the salary and say, okay, you give 60, I give 50, based on it that way. We just do it that way. That's all, and it's worked out, and the bills, everything stays paid. From the household perspective, all
Mhm.
that's taken care of and all that's paid.
Perfect. Love it.
Well, that's beautiful because he's able to handle it, and there are a
Mhm.
percentage of men that can handle it. I just think the percentage is low.
It is.
Um, because there's a lot of men that unfortunately would not be able to handle that. And I do like your approach on it, how you do a percentage. I mean, because that's fair, right? How are we
Mhm.
going to do 50-50? And I'm just making up numbers right now. We doing 50-50 and one person makes 100,000, other person makes 20,000. Like that's not even right.
Mhm.
Because then the other person is not going to have any disposable cash
Right.
because the amount that they got to put in is darn near the whole check and then some.
Mhm.
So I do like the percentage approach and I do like the way that y'all able to handle it. But again, it's couple based, but in addition to it being couple based, the man has to be able to handle it.
Mhm.
And not all can. Now, and I think it happens both ways, whether it's the man that's making more money or the woman that's making more money. Sometimes that person that's making the more money is a little arrogant,
Mm-hmm.
and
Narcissistic.
right, right. And you have got to be, when you become a
Mm-hmm.
couple, you got to be humble.
Absolutely.
You
Well,
have to be humble, kind,
mhm.
respectful, forgiving,
Mm-hmm.
um you have to have all of those traits within you, and you got to know how to switch them up and utilize them whenever it's necessary.
Absolutely.
And
But
sometimes you have to, in terms of communication, everything is not just about talking. Sometimes you got to learn when to just shut your mouth
mhm.
Hmm.
and
but
not address it.
but the
Yeah.
thing is life can humble you,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Some people.
we come out of a situation or still in a situation of COVID. So what happens when you're the breadwinner? Now you lost your job. You know what I mean? So these things happen. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I
Yes.
mean? You the breadwinner, now you lost your job. You got laid off because of COVID. Or the company moved, and you wasn't able to pick up and move 3 kids in a family all over the town. So now you got to find another job.
Mm-hmm.
So it's these situations, or it could be a career thing where a certain salary. Say someone's a teacher's not going to make as much as an engineer.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
if someone's a teacher or someone is in a certain situation and then your job pushes you, I talk back about and we talk about the guy because he's a pastor in the South, and his wife was a stay-at-home mom
Mm-hmm.
who made jewelry in the garage. This man made $300,000 a year. She stayed at home. He said, "Do something with the stuff in the garage. All this stuff you're making. Do something with it's cluttering up the place." So she decided to go to a flea market on the weekends and sell her stuff. She sells her stuff. A woman in a boutique saw it and said, "Can I put this in my shop?" Long story short, went online. She was grossing. She said she was basically her gross was his neck. In 1 year. He was making 300. He said, "How do I move to that?" Now she's bringing in seven. She was on QVC and everything. She's bringing in 7 figures, and you have to make the adjustment. So he was the breadwinner. He took care of all the bills, and something that started in the garage that went to the flea market that ended up in the boutique is now in QVC. This one was making bank,
Mm-hmm.
and so he had to adjust to that. You tell her to stop selling it? No, that's your money. You know what I mean? So, but then you have situations which I've seen where I didn't understand it because uh, I had to see a couple of times when a woman said, and I actually worked with this woman, she said, "I don't need him." She got a promotion, and she said, "I don't need him no more."
What?
Yeah. And she was leaving her husband, and I said, and I thought it was bad because they was together for 12 years, married for 6. He raised her son. She met him. I'm sorry, no. He met her son when she was 6. She met him when her son was 6. So he raised her son. They had been together 6 years. The son was 12. And she was getting a divorce. And I said, why? She got a promotion. She worked with us. It was a second job. She was part-time. Her full-time job got a promotion. So now she was making this. And she said, I don't need him no more.
Wow.
And I'm saying, so you're going to snatch your son out the house? And so in situations like that, you see why certain people tread lightly when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to, you know what I mean? Where it's a control issue because, well, I know she ain't going nowhere. Or women have they in situations, for example, like this show, you got these stay-at-home moms, and these men got what they want. Then all of a sudden, now Hudson and such ain't kids no more. Now they're teenagers. They don't need mom as much. Now mom wants to go back to school, go back to work, and the husband has a problem with it. You know,
And that was another thing
has
too.
control when she was at home. I control what they control the purse string, the purse strings. So
Mm-hmm.
they control what she did. Now she wants to go do something else and do her own thing, and a lot of people can't handle that. A lot
Well,
of men
to get
can't.
back to 1 second, Kevin, the conversation where you just said, she never loved her husband in the first place. She was there for convenience.
Yep.
She was there for convenience and security.
And
There's
a lot
there's,
of
there's
women
no
are.
way on this earth a promotion is going to break me away from my husband or the mate that I've been with for 12 years and my husband for 6.
Yeah.
So if a simple promotion did that, so you wasn't there for the right reasons to begin with.
Not
And
at all.
shame on you. And then you involved a child with this situation. Now you're going to snatch up this kid who is attached to this man, your husband, and sees him as his father. And because you got a promotion, you out. You wasn't in love in the first place. When
Mhm.
people
And
leave
that's
off
just
of simple stuff, to me, where was the love? Did you
yeah.
really love this person? Where's the for better and the for worse? Where's the all of that?
But that's the scary side of a relationship. Is that when you can just bounce like that?
Mhm.
Well, you
That's
was
the
never in love.
that's when people get gun shy, and you saying, well, why does she and why does he, and you know what I mean? Because they were in a situation where Shorty just said, you know what, he or she just said, I'm out, and you
Well,
like, what?
let's dissect that for 1 minute, right? There's a difference between you do have the right, whether you marry 5 years, 1 year, 10, 15, or 20, right? If it is over for you, is it going to feel good to the person? No, but you do have the right to say, you know what, I'm done. Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, you have that right to say I'm done. But my thing is, say you done, but don't drive the other person crazy and make it seem like it's dumb or if they do this and that when you know you're done, period. So that's one aspect of it, right? You have the right to say that you are done. But my thing is, don't sit there for financial reason. You tolerate me, and then the moment you get a nickel, dime, dollar, you out. That's a whole different subject, and that's so wrong. If you done, I don't care if you have to go to a studio, whatever. If you done, be done. Get your stuff and leave. But that brings me on the segue, Kevin, to another subject. For Kevin, Buster, and Francis. So there's a divorce. How do you feel about this alimony and what the other half gets when divorce arises? If you was worth millions, would you just give up half, or is the court going to have to tell you to give up half of this money? Are you giving her the house? You got 2 cars. She get the car, she get the house, she's getting half this money, or is the court going to have to tell you? Talk to me, Kevin.
How we got this money? I mean, did we build this together? Was we?
What
Was
if
we?
you were like the Amazon guy, because he recently got divorced? What if you were like the Amazon guy, and when you say built together, though, that's the other problem I have. If we're a couple and you say stay home, you raise the kids because I got enough money. If I got this, right? So I'm staying home. But yes, you built, and let's just get this
Yes,
for
that's
speaking
built
purposes.
together. I
You
said
built
that's
this
built
person, you built your Amazon thing, you built it. It was
together.
all your ideas or whatever. But now it's divorce time. Do I get half?
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely.
See what he did, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Just listening to a lot of social media interviews. One thing, and them lawyer fees are deadly. So let's just cut the law because I'm about to pay anyway. We don't have a prenuptial because if he did, he probably would have played that card. We don't have a prenup. You're gonna get a lawyer. I'm gonna get a lawyer. They're gonna request I pay your lawyer's fees and my lawyer's fees, which at that level they probably getting 30, 40,000 an hour, some astronomical stuff. Let's just cut it off. Here's half. Keep it moving. By that way,
I
you say
think
because
I'm gonna
Bob
be
Johnson
honest
did the
with you
same
though,
thing with his
Kev.
wife. Bob Johnson.
I think he did it so easily because one, the day he gave her half, he probably made that half back the next day. I went to the extreme, but there's others where you may be requesting half of my money, but I'm not going to recover and make that money back that easily. So generically speaking, you're okay with Now we've been married 5 years. You've been married 5 years. Getting the divorce, it's okay. You giving her half your pension.
That's
You
a
giving
whole
her
nother
half
ball
that
game.
401k.
For 5
You
years,
giving her
now you
half
ain't
that
earned that.
401k.
Not for 5 years. Not for 5 years. Now in 5 years, when I got with you
But
in
you said
5
the
years,
lawyer fees. You said the lawyer fees. Are you not giving up the
no,
money
listen to me.
now? Uh-huh.
If I meet you, if we get married in 2020 and I'm already 10 million in, and by 2025 I'm worth an extra 10 million, you get half that 10, but you ain't gonna get half of the 30. That doesn't make sense to me. So if like I said, if I'm 20 million in, and in 5 years I made an extra 10 million, I'm worth $30 million. You can get half of that 10. You can't get 15. And I feel the same way if the roles were reversed. Now, unless you did some integral part in me building that money, if you said, "Why don't you do this and do this and do that," and that helped me build that money, that's a whole nother ball game. Now, when you're dealing with, like, if you sit there with your book and you write a book, and I help you with the ideas or something like that, I can see me looking for something. But if you did your thing, and 5 years from now you worth $5 million, do you think I'm worth two? You think I'm worth 2.5? I was there for 5 years,
Will you walk away with nothing?
huh?
Will you
I ain't
just
say
walk
walk away
away?
with nothing. I ain't say walk away with nothing. But because it's like this. It's like this. And here's the deal. People like to say things when it comes to men and women. And I go back to what's the Sherry Shepherd, I think her name is, right? When she divorced her dude, and one dude said, "You knew he made $12 an hour when you married him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get mad. You gotta pay him now." You know what I'm saying? You knew he made $12 an hour when you married him, and he was making $300 an hour because the court's going to
So,
award
so
it
but
anyway.
here's the thing, Kevin. So I gotta be your lottery ticket? No. What we're gonna do is I get you a condo. No, you can't live over here in this mansion no more because you're not even gonna be able to upkeep it. And I'm not gonna pay you all this alimony to upkeep it. I'm gonna get you a condo. You can take one of the expensive cars, but you ain't gonna be able to maintain it. So let me go get you a Honda or something. You take that, and I'm gonna give you some money for 2, 3 years, but get your life together and go get a job. Cause my
Oh,
money should not be paying for you and your new chick. We're not doing that.
I'm
Buster,
not
what you
saying,
gotta say? Well, how are
but
we
here's
giving
the
this
deal.
money?
Listen to me. If the roles
Yeah.
were reversed, did you feel the same way?
If my man had all of this money,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I will say this, it's a case by case basis, right? If me and my man would met young and together and this money was built up while we was together, then give me my half. Give me my half. Now, if I met him, he already had all this money, and then we was only together 5 years. Do I think I should get half his money? No. However, do I think that I should be put in a situation, in a circumstance where I'm just destitute? No. You got to buy me a nice house in a nice area. You got to give me a certain stash of money. And then I'll take 5 years of support. And in 5 years, somebody should be able to get their life together, especially if your house is already paid for. I'm not going to ask for a house if he lives in Beverly Hills and we're getting divorced. I don't even want the house in Beverly Hills because guess what? I'm not even going to be able to afford that lifestyle anymore because I'm not with him. So you give me a nice house in a nice town, pay the whole thing off. I'm good. Give me 5 years worth of alimony and a lump sum, and we good. You don't gotta hear from me no more.
Okay, so you get a house, a
Right?
lump sum,
Yes.
5 years of payment,
Yes.
but I get a condo and a Honda.
Yes.
You know what? you got shit with that. You know what?
Yes.
Irreconcilable
Yes.
differences.
I'm a lady. I'm a
Irreconcilable
lady.
differences. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is how I feel. If you break the vows, you gotta pay. I really do believe. If you break those vows, and if you get physical with her or something like that, you gotta pay.
You
I
want to
just
know what the problem is with that, Kevin, and why they stopped doing it that way? Is because it's hard to prove. And so people will lie, right? Let's just say you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage, right? And your spouse knows that this is the rule. She could lie and say you was cheating with so and so. How do you prove it not? And yes, it's too much to prove. That's why they said that the person has to, whoever that makes the more money, you have to stay in the same comfort that you are used to. I think those rules are a little bit antiquated because I don't think that I should have to keep the person at the same level. I don't think you should be thrown out in the streets, but you could get a condo and you pay your own maintenance fees and do whatever you got to do. But
but you get a
my
house, but you
money,
get a house
my
paid for.
money is not going to be taking care of you and your
But
new boo. And the
but you
minute,
get a
and
house,
wait,
but you get a
hold
house
on, Kevin,
paid for.
hold on, Kevin. The minute you get another chick, I get to keep my rest of my money. I'm not paying for you and no another chick. My alimony. I'm out here
But it's
struggling to
okay
keep.
for him to do it for you and your new boo.
No, I'll wait till after the 5 years before I get a new boo.
You know what?
Right. Okay, Miss 7 days a week. Whatever you want to tell yourself.
And I ain't
I
sharing
wait.
my bonus, Miss. I don't share my bonus. Go ahead with that.
Yeah, I'm not. No, absolutely not.
You know what?
Now, what Kevin was saying when he said that if he came into the marriage with a certain amount of money and he made additional money throughout that marriage, yes, I understand that I understand. You keep what you came with, and I'm gonna keep what I came with, and we can split what we made together. I get that. I get that. I understand it. Everybody got their own thing. But if I'm in a marriage 20 years and you told me I had to stay at home and take care of your home, absolutely. You're going to pay off the house. You're going to still give me half. You're going to put me in a ride that's already paid for. And then if I decide that I do not want the house, understand I'm going to sell it and all of the proceeds belong to me.
I agree.
So no, whatever we made together, absolutely whatever we made together. But if whatever you brought into the house, you don't want to share that with me, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I got 5 years out of the marriage. I got what I wanted anyway. And now you ready to move on? I'm ready to move on. Let's move on. Absolutely.
Move on with giving me was rightfully due to me.
Exactly. Only was worth 5 years.
I don't know about all that, but
yeah, was worth 5 years. Absolutely.
It depends on if it's her money.
Huh? Say that again, Kevin.
No, it doesn't matter because if it came into
what did Kevin say? What did you say?
It depends if it's your money. That's how you're looking at it. If you're ready to take his money, but if it's your money, then no, you can't take a dot here.
I ain't spending out giving you money for another woman.
I ain't giving you no bonus. I ain't giving you this. I ain't paying the light bill. I ain't doing none of that.
You know what? It's and nowadays. Oh, I shouldn't say nowadays. From what I understand, cheating, no matter how big the cheating was, no matter how big the infidelity was, it's not addressed by the courts.
Yeah, it's not.
People want to separate and divorce. It's not going to be because of infidelity. It's not going to be because of that.
And I think
it
that's
may be a factor, but it's not going to be something that the court addresses. And,
I think it's
that's okay. Unless you come with receipts.
Well, no, if there's a whole baby out there, that's receipts. That's why I think it's unfortunate. I mean, for Wendy Williams, like, for example, for her to have to be paying her husband all this money and he got a whole baby that he had during the marriage.
And he's working as a barber right now.
Yeah, and I do have a problem with that.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
she did
devastating.
I I love Wendy to a point, but she went and took her car back. Said I'm not paying for her to ride around in something I bought, so she went and got her car.
She went and got her car, but she still had to give him a heck of a lot of money. He's
Yeah,
still
because
getting money right now.
they built an empire together. Whether
Jesus,
he's
wow.
using that money with another woman or not, they built an empire together. They were together for many, many years, whether she was
Well,
happy or not.
their whole marriage, and their whole courting they did too. But I'm just saying, all bets are off. You should lose big time if you
Yeah,
have some a whole baby out, like with when you within the marriage.
yeah,
But
that's true. But what about those women
What
who
about
are
us?
in marriages and have a baby knowing their husband, knowing it's not their husband's? Their
that's
husbands have
mean.
to sign off on it because
They're
that
married.
they're married.
Yeah, no,
So
that's mean. That's nasty. That I don't like.
absolutely,
Yeah, that's nasty. That right
absolutely.
there is just so mean and nasty. No, I'm not into that. But let me tell you, he could divorce me, but he's getting a condo, and I will fight tooth and nail. Tooth and nail.
And how many
Remember
years
that
you gonna
movie?
be
Remember
with
that
that?
movie? This is an old movie. Remember that movie, War of the Roses?
Mm-hmm.
That's how
Yeah,
I'm going down. That's how I'm
you are
going down.
funny. You are hilarious. You
That's how
are
I'm going down.
hilarious.
Walk
And no,
off the
I
chandelier.
We
just don't
both
think.
will see God first, but I will not. I will not. Okay. No other chick is gonna live off my funds. We're not
And he
doing that.
probably wouldn't be able to give her anything, depending on what it is. That money may be what he needs to survive every day until he's able to do better for himself. So she may not even see any of that. He's too prideful, and a lot of men would be too prideful to tell another woman, well, I'm getting alimony on every month because yeah, I don't have no job, I ain't
Some
doing
of them
nothing.
are though. Some of them
Yeah,
are.
yeah, that would be a copy, Brad.
They not built. They not built like they used to be. Some of
No.
these men.
Mm,
They not built. They
not at
not
all.
built like my daddy.
No,
No.
because we pacify these little boys and we encourage them to do things that are not of themselves. And I'm just like, a lot of these women think their boy children are their man. That's not your man. That's your child.
No, it's not. You got that's your child.
That's your
So
child.
this guys is our relationship chat. I mean, we could go on and on because there's so much in relationships, but we about to close this out. As we close this out, I'll start with you, Kevin. What do you want to say in general about relationships, to close us out?
Uh, I believe you get in what you put in.
I like that.
You know,
I like that.
you have to be you have to be all in. You know, and people wonder why it's happened to me, that happened to me, and you have to be all in. If you're not all in, you guys just stay single or find somebody who's willing to go half with you. It's either all or nothing. So if I'm gonna get in a relationship, it has to be all in. It has to be, jump in the pool. We all, you know what I mean, all in. That's how it's simple like that.
Wow.
So,
That's the 16 years. Yeah, so he can't. But after 16 years, though, it's like it seemed like it would have been a blurred line. Like, how do you know what was his and what was yours?
Because they
Um,
already had separate accounts.
mm.
mhm.
But I'm even talking about other stuff. So when my split, after my 20-year split, I left with nothing but my clothes and my son clothes. And
And the other thing, but go ahead.
Mm.
yeah, so I left with my clothes, I left with my son clothes, and it was like
And the
um
other thing,
what's the other thing?
a peace of mind.
A peace of mind, yeah. And the thing I said to myself was I didn't want any of that stuff because at that point I was like, what it represented to me, um, I wasn't even going to argue for it. I wasn't even going to put up a fight for it. I was like, you know what? It is what it is.
Were you
Um,
married?
no, no.
You were,
And that's
but by then y'all were common law.
right. And and that's a whole nother discussion in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would tell people don't do it. But you know what? When you're in situations, the years start to blend, and it's like, you blink your eye, and you're like, oh, it's been 5 years, it's been 6, it's been 10, it's been this. But yeah, I left with nothing. I had my clothes and my son clothes, and that was it. And when we came here, we was on air mattress. My sister gave me an air mattress for myself, and my girlfriend gave me an air mattress for my son. Vice versa, whatever. We had air mattresses, and it took a lot for me to rebuild, and I went through a lot emotionally, physically, mentally. But I was like, you know what? I don't even want any of that stuff because I don't want to be reminded every time I bump in a corner of this is when we used this cup. This is when we did this. This is when we did that. So yeah, it like just I had nothing. And it was craziness. It was craziness. Yes, married 1988 and divorced in 2014. We're going to talk about, maybe our next conversation, and I'll probably invite Marcella too. Our next conversation to be about just recovery after breakups.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to really, my self-esteem was in the gutter. It was messy. It was messy. Um, we were
After
separated
that
when
many
we was
years, absolutely.
yeah, it was messy. But I do like what you said, Kevin. That was good stuff. You gotta be all in. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta be all in. And then the minute one of the parties is not all in, you're headed down the wrong road. And it's probably gonna just lead to disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Um
You got
and
you
so
got to put each other first. That's it.
say that again.
You got to put each other first. You talk
You
about
gotta
marriage.
put
You
each
got to
other
you got to
first.
put each other first, and you can't let no one divide that circle. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of
Right.
times people let family, kids, whatever divide that circle. You got to be all in, and so that's just what it comes down to. You hear people saying, "Oh, you can't have your child dictating what goes on between you and your wife and you and your husband
Mm-hmm.
because they don't like them or whatever the situation is or whatever." But I mean, you shouldn't marry someone. But the point is that
I was going to say.
no, I'm just saying it's like you shouldn't marry someone. Your kids. I mean, if your kids have a problem with it, it depends on what the situation is. But a lot of times you sit there and there are people who told me they didn't like their mom's husband when they first married, but turned out to be a great guy. So they're your kids. You know what I mean? But my thing is, my parents, like my dad would say to me, I gotta tell your mom. And I was like, when something happened, I'm like this. Your pop, he's like this. I gotta tell your mother, right? Come
Mm-hmm.
on, pop. You know what I mean? My mother would say the same thing. I gotta tell your father. So no matter what, whoever I went to soften the blow, I knew would tell the other one, but I knew I couldn't break that. And so
Mm-hmm.
because they was all in, so I knew telling one was telling the other one, but you know that, and that's my level where I
Yeah,
look
you
up to
got to
them.
be all in. You got to be
Yeah.
all in. So, Francis, how you want to close us out?
Well, you first got to love yourself.
Yes.
You have to love yourself because you definitely can't love anybody else. So you have to love yourself. You have to let go of baggage because you can't keep bringing it from relationship to relationship. And you have to let them know some things that have hurt you and what those things are. So, if you've had infidelity in your relationship and Your one thing is, I want to be in a monogamous relationship. And you have to be the person that says, you know what? That's not me.
Right.
And I'm not going to put you through that. So I'm going to let you go. If that's something that you agree to, then do it. Absolutely do it. And don't go around telling a man, after a couple of years, you have to marry me. You may not really be the one. And after a couple of years, you still waiting for the ring, you're going to be disappointed for a very long time. I'm sorry. You really are. And y'all need to address that in the beginning. You really need to address it in the beginning. And, I'm not going to spend a lifetime with nobody. And then they're expecting something in the end. I'm just not. It's not going to happen. Not if we're not married. Sorry.
Yeah. So
do what you got to do.
Yeah. I'll close out by saying this is that trust is everything.
Absolutely.
And broken trust, I don't know if it's repairable. I'm still out to lunch on that, but I'm almost thinking it. And trust can be broken in several different ways, right? And so it's not all broken trust, but there's some levels, like when you break that particular level of trust, I don't know if there's a road back from that. Because you got to be able to trust. The trust is the foundation to a good relationship. So if you don't have trust, what are you building your relationship on? So you got to have trust. You got to be able to, be able to rely on each other. And I like to joke around a lot, but in all honesty, when it comes to my finances and my money, of course, I'm never going to let the person I'm with, I'm not going to let them fall down the rabbit hole. However, but only way I'm not going to do that is I got to trust that that person would never let that happen to me either. So, that's why I said that that's the foundation of everything. And I do think that people really tear away at the very soul of a person when they know they're done. I just wish people, when they're done, just tell that person and just leave. Don't keep them in this whirlwind and have them, spinning in circles thinking it's something they can do to save the relationship when that's not what you want. When truly in your heart, mind, and soul, you have already moved on. Be man enough or woman enough to say, look, this is probably going to hurt you what I'm about to say, but I'm done. There's nothing we can do. I don't want to do counseling. I'm just done. Versus having a person string along and thinking that there's something they can do to salvage the relationship, because it's only going to tear that person down even more. So with that being said, thank you once again, guys, for this great conversation on relationships. Once again, I had a ball. You're making me lose sleep. There is so many avenues.
Weekend's coming up. Sleep in.
That's true. There's so many avenues that we can go when it comes to relationships and talking about them. But I think we hit on some really great topics. If you have a mate where y'all can come together on finances, where you're able to trust each other, where there's no jealousy within the relationship, we didn't even go down that path. But sometimes there is jealousy of your own mate in a relationship. And when you have that, that is just dreadful. It's dreadful. So, yeah, I've been there, done that too. It's horrible. And it's like, how are you jealous of me? We're in this together. But jealousy is a wicked thing and it's real too. So it's just so many things when it comes to relationships that we can touch on and tap on. But I think if we had to leave everybody with anything, is start with trust. Start with trust. Understand who you are. Like Francis said, you got to love yourself. Understand who you are, because if you don't understand yourself, you're not going to be able to tell your mate what you want and don't want. And you're going to drive them bananas and nuts, right?
Mhm.
And so, you have to be honest about that too. If you have some non-negotiables, some things that are just straight deal breakers, you need to let the person at the very least know that. Like, this is a non-negotiable, so that they know up front, and then they can ask themselves, can I deal with this non-negotiable, or can I not? But anyway, guys, thank you once again to our favorites, Sassy, here we go again. Latia, if y'all still in the building, or even if y'all gone, thank you for hanging out with us. And Buster popped in there for a second, and we loved his perspective. So thank you, guys. Thanks, Kev. Thanks, Francis.
Good night.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace.